These are the Kanto Bens. Taco flavored kisses for my Ben. And I bought these, even though Kanto contacted me and sent me the Yumis over there and the Yumi passes. Like, oh yeah. I was like, I found these during that review and I'm like, oh my God, what are those? Those are coaxial 5 1/4 that look like this. For how much? And at the time of this recording, all the colors are still $60 a pair. $60 a pair. So I grabbed a set in orange because who the hell doesn't want orange cubes that emit sound? And I got them. And I put them on and I'm like, ooh, they got no bass. None. This is a sealed, it's a solid sealed 5 1/4 coaxial speaker. So even the Kovo S's, which now reside in my bathroom on the ceiling, even those are ported for low end, and these aren't. And I'd have to say, probably without a doubt, these are the least bassy speakers I've ever reviewed. So are they bad? But we're getting to that. So, because a lot of speakers I recommend, they eventually do need, okay, you could use them, but they could use a sub. Even the Elacs here, the Unifies, which also sport a coaxial, and we'll get back to the comparisons between these two, they need a sub, because it's only a 5 and actually, let me take my exact measurement specifications. Boom. So, identical size bass driver, only this is a mid-range thing, but we'll get to it. So for $60, what are you getting? You're getting a cube. Let's pick it up. Let's look at it. Let's examine it. I put that in my mouth. I can't speak. That will not work well. It's a hefty little, oh, I'm gonna puke. Hefty little thing. The finish is dull. I mean, it's getting a little fingerprinty because I've been touching them. Does it stick out? No, it doesn't. It means I can lay it on its face. Look at it. 4 ohm impedance. Don't get freaked out by 4 ohm impedance, because most Class D digital amplifiers, which are the ones I usually recommend, handle 4 ohms just fine because they're digital. And if you, well, I don't know if you're going to use them on a receiver, but if you do decide to use them on a receiver, probably in a rear speaker capacity, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. 4 ohms is not a scary thing, especially when it's a little tiny thing. You're not driving. When you have a tower speaker that's yay high with multiple drivers and that says 4 ohms, then you could be concerned. Little tiny things are just they're gonna do their thing. It's got these cute little unscrewing 5-ways. I guess they're 5-ways. They're little tiny things, and they still accept bananas. Then you got a mount here. You've got a integrated threaded 1/4 inch. Yes. I don't have a 1/4 inch thread that long, but that means that you can just buy these. They sell them. I'll link in the description the mounts that use 1/4 inch. You could mount it to the wall, and you can go woo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and you could just have this sit here in whatever color you want. You see, again, we're back to that part where Kanto's really the only one that has color in the lineup. Well, it's a mess, but color, life. Let's get back to how they sound, because we looked at the build. Oh, they're great. Oh, they don't come with covers either, which is, I mean, you don't need covers. They look gorgeous little things. Look at them. They got the textured driver here. That's the actual tweeter don't touch, but this bit around it is the surround that's trying to direct sound out. And that's when we get to some of the issues with these speakers. These speakers are 50% a great speaker. And because I have them out here in the living room, there's the completion. I have, right now when I started this recording, I had those on. And I have the settings on my sub. Full frequency response, up to 150. And like most of the gain, just like 85% gain. Because that's how much is missing from this. If I shut those off, and I don't want to, there's going to be a sound demo where I'll demo it with and without subs. But without subs, you're going to think you wasted money on these speakers. But these speakers are also not intended for living room front channel use. They work when you throw 2 subs or even the goddamn rhythmic on with it. But where I found these speakers to, I mean impress, I mean fucking impress, was on my computer desk inside. You know, here, this far. But then there's also a caveat that you can't point them at you, because here's how tweeters work. Tweeters are all based on waveguides. Now this tweeter here, well, think about the JBLs, think about, have a speaker, boom, there's a speaker, and there's a speaker. So the sound appeals here have that little bit around there, that little wave that's just shaped, that shapes how the sound comes out. And we all know those tweeters are too strong anyway. But here, the Dusty S305, that whole shape there controls the sound that comes out of the tweeter. It shapes it, it controls it. It's what it does. It's what a waveguide does. And when you do something like this, you're now forced to have this 5-inch waveguide because it's in the middle of the speaker. Now, the ELACs here, I mean, Andrew Jones did like, I'm sure he did like heroin amounts of research into how this could work, because it works. But these two share a very similar thing where the tweeters and this speaker around it, it just exaggerates it a little bit too much, because now you have a waveguide that is moving with the music, and now your tweeter is stuck in the middle of it. Because unless the tweeter is stuck out here, like, have you ever seen car speakers? You know what car speakers look like? They have a speaker and they have a tweeter sitting in front of it, mounted in front of it. And that would work in this scenario. They're just not doing it. So now this is a much smaller cone than this is, so that this is just projecting fucking highs to the point of, oh. But then I was playing with it on the desk and I just twisted them further and further away, so they were just pointing behind me. And that's when I realized that these are some of the best imaging speakers I've ever heard. Like Jeremy Clarkson up in here. Yeah, now imaging, if you recall, is the precision of sound between two things. You talk about what headphones, you put headphones on, soundstage makes it sound like it's out here. It's the width of the overall. So narrow soundstage is this is wide soundstage. Imaging is how accurate from, it sounds like it's coming from the left, it sounds like it's coming from the right, it sounds like it's coming from the middle, it sounds like it's coming from 2 inches left of the middle, and it sounds like 4 inches. That resolution there. The 2000Xs here are the fucking best at that. So these speakers, when you put them on a desk and then you point them away from you, and then you add a subwoofer, image, in gaming, in music, you know, if something goes across, it happens all the way across. So that's why they're up here, that's why I love them. But, and there's big buts with these speakers. They got no bass, none. You cannot run these without a subwoofer, some sort of subwoofer, any sort of subwoofer. Now I've got a couple little ones that are coming up for review, and the Martin Logans here are just either sold out or missing. So you're looking at like a Dayton 10-inch or, well, the Dayton 10-inch is pretty much the cheapest one now. But you need something. So, oh good, $60 a pair of speakers that Zeos really likes. Minus the fact you need to have a subwoofer. Need. And then you're gonna go into the fact that, well, you can't really do a giant room with them. I mean, I'm playing around with them right now in this room. I had no intention of like listening to them for long periods of time. But I mean, if I can push these subs hard enough and high enough, they could fill in some of the gap. If this speaker had just had another speaker under it and that speaker just did low end, then maybe they'd be a complete speaker. These are a half a speaker, but the half that they are is very, very good. They're actually pretty efficient too. I mean, they don't do much. They don't have any low end to make. So, you know, low end is what takes all the power. You could give a tweeter 3 watts and it'll kill you. You can give a mid-range, 12 watts and it'll kill you. To kill you with a low end with that, you need 400 watts or 800 watts. You need lots. So these are very unique speakers. They have no low end. They have fucking amazing imaging. As I'm going to say it, the imaging on these and these is very similar. The actual resolution of it. Because I love the ELACs on the desk as well, and guess what? They don't need a subwoofer. These need a subwoofer. But these are $500 a pair, and those are 60. So you got to start doing math and adding things up, and also these are black and big. Ugh. Compared to the bright orange or blue, or again, you can get them in black. I don't know if you can get them in white. I don't think I saw any Kantos in white, which is a shame. So you've been asking about them. They've been sitting in the background. I might put them back on my gaming computer, although right now I have the Buchart white S200s, which has $800 speakers are fucking phenomenal. But, you know, we're talking about, do I want to use the $60 speakers with a sub, or I want to use the Bucharts that are $800, and it's like, you balance it out. What do I want to play with? This is all, those speaker costs means nothing to me at this point, because they're just here. They're all just sitting here. So, like, you know, what car do you want to drive? You want to drive the Volkswagen, you know, Cabriolet, or you want to drive the Ferrari? Maybe one day you just want to drive the Volkswagen. And this is the Volkswagen. It's fun as hell. Next track. Subs are on. Wow. Those Martin Logans, really. I really wish they would just be back. They were like disappearing when I first started using them, and I'm like, oh, I gotta grab a couple. I should grab like 5 more, just have them lined up. Here, hold on. All right. Pause that song. Hearing it though. Yes, these are on their own. They're sad little speakers that have amazing imaging, and when you add sub, they actually become a whole thing. So, I mean, for rears, since you're gonna, if you use them for rears, because they have the mounts to be used as rears. I wouldn't use them as just these are the only speakers in a room. But if you use them as rears on a system with a subwoofer, you could tell it, you know, everything above 100, send down there, and they'll work great. Remu, 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 Remu.